Hey, what's happening, everybody? Is this Thursday night? Time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jason's Tiki Adventures. Whoops, I was making another video. Let me fix that quick.
And I'm your other host, Elisa.
Yeah, hang on, I was just about to introduce you there.
Hey.
There we go.
Okay, good.
And first-time host, but not first time on the show, Elisa Goldman. Hello, Elisa. How are you?
Hi, I'm just hanging out with my fake tikis.
Nice. And your kick-ass unicorn on the black velvet behind you. So I do love that. All right, let's introduce our guest here real quick. Whoops. I'm out of sorts for a quick second. Here we go. Now it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug and try and match it up to my guest. And our guest this week is Sue. Sue, how do you pronounce your last name?
Moraldo.
I was making it way too hard because my wife asked me, and I'm like, Maraldo. I was like putting way more syllables than needed.
Yeah.
How you doing, Sue?
Moraldo.
Moraldo, nice and easy. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Good, thanks.
So you approached my mom at the Tiki Flea Market, which she was vending, and said, I think Jason would want to have me on and talk about knives. And my mom texted me. I said, hell yes. And I don't care what kind of knives because we've never talked about that. So I have one mug out of all the mugs we have that has a knife. This mug is called the Knife Licker. Sometimes it's called the Paddle Licker. It's from the Hawaiian Inn that was in Daytona Beach. But that's my one mug with a knife on it. And I know these aren't knives, but as close as I can get. So I go for a little Black Roberts rum tonight with the crossed swords. That's a mighty big knife there, Elisa. What are you drinking tonight, Sue?
I'm having a Mai Tai in my new mug I got at
Tiki Underground. Very nice.
Yeah.
We haven't had a guest come on with a full-on cocktail in a long time.
Got
That's
these
awesome.
little straws too.
I love it.
Cute.
And Lisa, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I just misplaced my drink, so I grabbed some.
Where could it be?
I just grabbed whatever the closest liquor was. And I'm not a drinker, so I don't know what it is.
So wait a minute. Wait, you're not a drinker, so why is that just laying around within arm's reach?
Because I bought an MCM bar, and they said, "Do you want all the liquor in it?" And some of it was sealed and new, and I said, "Hell yeah!" So I ended up with a ton of.
Wait, is there rum in this collection?
Hold on.
I'll say if there's rum and you haven't told me yet, I need. Anyone want to co-host real quick?
Okay, this is Scotch whiskey.
Yeah,
so that's not rum.
No, that's Scotch whiskey. All right, we will have that conversation later. Sue, sit back, relax. We're going to talk to you a little bit about your knives. Oh my gosh. All right, yeah, after the show, we'll take a look at your liquor. But first, let's get to And now it's time for our scores of the week. These are the items that you should be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting. Pow. You are up first.
I'm up first. I was at the really bad Goodwill. Bad Goodwill. That's kind of an oxymoron. And I found all these Nicole Miller vintage club shirts from the 90s with all different things like Barbie and the post office and Harley Davidson. And I looked them up and they were like, oh my God. It's, it's like, I mean, I had this up, this sold for $100. It took a little bit because it's a smaller size, I think, but it sold for $180. And I mean, I think I had it up for maybe $200 at one point. And I sold another one for $110. They might have cost me $5.99 each. And
nice.
I bought a dozen of them. And they're Barbie.
Very cool.
And they're men's.
Now let's take a hard left turn.
Okay, so about
where did you find two of these? And then for this price, what?
Okay, well, I was at a in Delaware where I live. I was at a a community yard sale, and some guys, I saw these on the ground. There was 2 of them. They were open box, but they were new, and they're fire alarm control panels of something. And I said, so I kind of quickly scanned them with my phone, and I'm like, holy blank. And I said, how much do you want for them? He's like, do you know what they are? I'm like, yeah, I was a firefighter, which is true. But I didn't know what they were. So basically, he said $15 each. He worked for the company. He was sold them, and I sold both of them in a week for $575 each plus shipping.
Dang, girl, look at you.
It was awesome. I mean, it was so funny though. The guy looking at the he was like, "Why is this 5 foot tall woman buying these things?" But you know what? Who cares?
It's right. It doesn't matter how tall you are. Let's get it. This is a cool shirt. Why couldn't you have found this in my size? I'm definitely not a small.
It was very cool. Robert Graham. I had so many offers on this shirt and so many low balls, but it was, I got this at an estate sale. A man's partner had died, and he was selling all his Robert Graham shirts for like a buck each. And this is the coolest one. I've been selling it.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I sold it for pretty much what I asked it for. It was just, what I asked for it. And it's a size small.
If anyone sees this in 2XLT, let me know.
Tentacles.
Yeah. So cool. I was like, I was like, please don't have that bend my size. And when I saw the word small, I'm like, phew. I'm like, damn it. And then for something totally different yet again.
This is, number one, I've never been to Texas or a rodeo or a honky-tonk bar.
Or Gillies. I've been to Gillies.
Or Gillies. So, there is a mistake in the title, which I didn't realize, but it's sold so fast. It's basically like a stadium seat cushion that I found in a base, like a hipster couple had that they were selling, like, I don't know, very odd stuff. And they had that, and I'm like, oh, why not? That's cool. That's, it looks like it's vintage and it could sell. And I was looking up Gillies, which I didn't know anything about, and because I thought Pasadena was in California.
Have you never seen The Urban Cowboy with John Travolta?
No, but I did put it in the description.
All right. By the way, you have 2 misspellings in your title, teacher.
Okay. Dang.
Pasadena and Stadium.
Oh.
Don't let your students see this.
I told my students that I was going to be on a YouTube channel, this YouTube show today, and the 4th graders, and they're like, "What is it? What is it? I'll watch it." I'm like, "No, you're gonna spam me. You know that."
Hi, kids.
No, I didn't give it to them. I'm like, no.
Yeah, so I've been to Gillies, and I've been into the rodeo at Gillies. The rodeo is inside the bar. It's pretty awesome. Debbie wanted me to show this for some reason.
Yeah. One of the other reseller people in the reseller community buys packs of vintage underwear, and so I bought a whole jockey, and I've been amazed at how much money vintage underwear sells for, like in the pack.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is from 1986. It was a 3-pack of socks for $40 plus shipping. I sold underwear for like $80.
Oh yeah. People, it's like the cologne I buy. It isn't made anymore, so I got to pay dearly for it because that's the scent I like. All right. How about this? If you watch the Goldbergs, this would have been so perfect on Bev Goldberg. The brand is IF or IIF. I've never heard of it before, but I looked up the jumpsuits, and they were averaging about $50, $45.
Ooh, sexy.
And I did take an offer of $50, and I used a collage for my first picture. So I showed the close-up of the front, the full back, the full front, and the tag. And it was only up for a couple of weeks. So $50, and off it goes. I spent $8 on it.
It's rodeo chic.
Yeah, absolutely.
With silk.
All right. My buddy Cletus, who cleans out houses and brings me good stuff, brought me all this glass rock slag in different colors. And this was the first one that sold. And this sucker weighed 7 pounds, 6 ounces. So it's the rare time I'm throwing the weight in the title. You don't need to throw the weight of a pair of jeans. You don't need to throw the weight of a CD. But because these are all jagged and different shapes and sizes, people are looking for it by color and size. And so, and of course, you get more money the bigger they are. So I do have like a 20-pounder up there too. So this is the first one we sold, and $80.
That sounds kind of silly. You know, I want to buy a 20-pound slag.
Now I'm going to guess my mom did this, but thanks, Mom, for the $100. When we were cleaning, we realized we had 2 of these blankets. So we sold one, and it lasted 1 day on eBay. So $100. So woohoo. So I think, thanks, Mom. Mom's going to Disney again coming up. If you want to buy me another one, I'll just turn it into $100, but you don't have to. I take you didn't buy it because it wasn't jewelry, right, Becky? Or you could have made big ass rings. Becky's our resident jewelry seller. All right, so bar in New York City that I love called Death and Company. It is not a tiki bar, but they have been making tiki mugs. I bought a bunch and I just sit on them and wait till they sell out, and then I resell them. So they were $75 initially, and then I sold this one for $160. So I do not mind waiting for my money. I'm good on sitting on things and putting them away for just a little bit. And now it's time for our CD and cassette scores of the week. And as always, we start with flipping cassettes. What are you saying, Elisa?
No, I said, does the liquor come out of the mouth of the pirate?
No, it wouldn't make for a much good mug if there was a hole in front of it. All right, Lauren Hill. She brought me $25 on a used cassette, which I paid a whole 80 cents for, as did the Grateful Dead brought me $25 on a used cassette, but I did pay $4 for this one. So if you aren't flipping music yet, what in the world are you waiting for? All right, although not my Where in the World segment for this week, but listed this and it was up for maybe a day, went right to England directly on ebay.uk. Got $37, and there's a bunch of these listed. And the average selling price is about $25. But I think the reason mine sold so quick is because I use a service that puts mine on 9 foreign websites. So people are more apt to buy when they're directly on their own eBay, so to speak. Dick Clark's Rock and Roll Remember.
Is that an LP? What
yeah,
is it?
4 records.
Oh, I thought it was napkins for some reason, like paper napkins from like bar napkins.
We are in the flipping record segment, and you think they're paper napkins. What is going on?
It looks like a paper napkin.
Again, we're in the flipping record segment of the show, and we're just about to go into the CD segment. And now we go from flipping cassettes to flipping CDs. So tell me about your paper napkin you sold.
I have absolutely no idea anything about this band, but I got it in a giant wad of CDs from the mid 2000s garage band, and it sold for $16. I have no idea, didn't listen to it, don't care about it. It sold. I'm happy. Grace
Potter's kind of what they call Americana. She's all right. All right. Funny enough. Okay. Now I'm sharing an extra CD this week, not because it's a big sale, but when I listed and priced it, I didn't even think that I was pricing it at $19.99. It wasn't on purpose. I priced my CD the next dollar down from whatever the lowest is. So the lowest was $20.58 at that moment. So I priced mine at $19.99. Didn't even think about it. And then it sold, and I started to laugh because inadvertently I sold $19.99 for $19.99. So that I thoroughly enjoyed. I laughed to myself. Okay, this is one of them weird ones where you said, I don't know what this is. Nintendo Sound History Series Disc System Rare Selection. I don't even know what it is. But what I do know is it took a while and I had to get on the right platform, which was Discogs. I paid $8 and it sold for $50. It was on eBay and had been on Amazon, and no one ever looked at it. Again, here you go, Elisa. I have no clue who Sad Happy is. But when I'm in a store and it's $4 and I scan and see what's happening, I don't mind bringing it home and selling it for $56 because that makes me happy.
This is Sad Happy.
All right. Oh, I forgot to give you guys a warning. Boobies. Pick this up in Phoenix. I got to go behind the counter and dig through some rare CDs for $25, and I sold it for $110. But that's not my best CD of the week. How about Star Trek that I paid $11 for? Sold it for $150. Now, that is not every Star Trek soundtrack. This is a special version. But look at the money that is out there just waiting to be put into your pocket. So if you haven't visited my site, jasonthrifts.com or flippincds.com yet, and you haven't taken my class, what are you waiting for? Look at the money. Now, don't give it away, Elisa, but I already told Elisa what next week's big score is. And the first number isn't a 1, and it isn't a 2. That's for next week. So be prepared for an even bigger CD flip next week. One of my best in quite a while.
Am
I forgetting something?
Hey, wait! Hold up! Don't forget about me.
Whoops. Now it's time for Stacy's Budget Bin Scores. All right, Stacy pulled out this Mad Grooves. I think it was like a $2 bin and $34. So her average was down a little bit. She was sitting in the 15s and the 16s, which is not bad for $1 and $2 CDs. But heck yeah, she's back up $34. $34.
Schlock. I love it. That's a great word.
And now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. So when I prepare the show, I do not look at what the guest and the guest host, co-hosts are doing. I just get the links up. And I just saw this as I was getting ready. This is your dud, a male chastity belt, so to speak.
It is a chastity preserver for the errant male. And it's not really a dud, but I thought you would get a laugh out of it. It is spring loaded and has a little pink lock on it. And it's funny because it went local to a neighborhood that I used to teach in. So I kind of, if I really want to, I could go knock on their door and say, "Hey, how'd that thing work out for you?" That'd be fun.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm guessing you're missing the overall box for this box set.
Yeah. It was just the individual ones. I didn't, individually they weren't worth listing by themselves because they were like like a cardboard sleeve, not like a full box. And so, it didn't sell for much. Probably would have sold more around Halloween, but it's gone. It's out of my house and meh.
That's the good thing. All right. Look, I am happy to show you when I sell CDs and make a shit ton of money. I'm also happy to show you when I screw up because I am the master. I bought this when we were in Chicago for 19 and I sold it for 23. I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to work. After Amazon fees, I lost money. And I'm like, what? Huh? I'm not sure why I bought it for this price. I really don't know. It's one of those where you get home and you go, huh? Why did I buy this one? So it happens. And always we share our duds to anybody who's new or doing this for 20 years. We all still make mistakes and or things that we bought when they were hot. By the time we list them, they might not be hot anymore. So shit happens and you don't always get big money. Like these. I thought these were so cool. I sourced 2 pair of Samsung Converse All-Stars and I've had this pair listed for a year and a half and I finally took an offer of $40 and I had 20 into them. So although I made some money, it wasn't it wasn't my mom's quarter flip. And here's the bummer. Here's my other pair. I have 2 pair. Crap. I had 40 invested and it took me a year and a half to get 1 buyer. So I thought some cool Samsung loving nerd would love these, but apparently there isn't. That doesn't exist.
I am freaked out by the disembodied cankles. It's freaking me out.
Well, I will just leave those up there the rest of the show.
Cool.
And now it's time for Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. All right, look. Everywhere in the world, someone wants a tiki mug. Everywhere. Cassette, Germany. They needed these 2 tiki mugs. They obviously are going for a very nautical theme in their German tiki bar. But just when you think you couldn't sell, a tiki mug to this country, boom, someone orders 2 of them. So list your stuff everywhere because someone in Germany needed 2 of my tiki mugs. And we had a nice little chat. He asked for a price break on the shipping if he bought 2, and I worked it all out, and they are on their way to Germany right now.
Is that a dud?
Oops. Nope. I just got the message. Let me fix that for 1 second, and then we'll go to the next segment. Yes. Thank you, Elisa, and thank you, Elisa, because Lisa messaged me.
and that is a great name for a band, Aaron. The Discombobulated Kankles.
There we go. That was my band name in high school. All right, let's get on to. And now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. What to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. All right, this is probably the easiest graphic Debbie's ever made for any guest co-host.
That is, I got off of Amazon, and it's weighted. It weighs a ton, so don't drop it on your feet. I have cut my fingers on it, but it has both kinds of tape and room for my Scotty pillars, my scissors, all in one convenient, thing. So I'm not, always looking for tape or always looking for the little stuff.
Yep, and I had the exact same thing out on my shipping table. So great minds.
Twinsies.
Absolutely. All right. I had a good one. I can't remember what it was because that's what happens when you are fitty. But I had another one I forgot to use. When you get pool noodles, and if you're new to this, you don't know, pool noodles is one of the tools you should have in your arsenal because it really helps in shipping. But what I wanted for you to notice here is there are different shapes and sizes, and you definitely need the variety of sizes because it depends on if you're trying to secure something that's thin and small or medium big. And so you need the medium big pool noodles for the medium big things and then the skinnier ones for the skinnier things. So don't just buy a one size pool noodle. When you're grabbing pool noodles, grab a variety of sizes and keep your eyes open on thrift stores and garage sales. Mom said she picked some up yesterday at a garage sale. So
I like the name Big and Meaty for a metal band too.
Yep. We're big and we're meaty. And now it's time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're outsourcing.
All right. Tips for the shorties among them. I'll include Stacy in that one because I think we're about the same height. Maybe I think she's an inch taller, 2 inches taller. You can look if something is on a high shelf at the supermarket or the thrift store. As long as you look pathetic, you could beg someone taller, man or woman, to reach it for you by giving them the sad puppy dog eyes. I really can't reach it. Could you do me a big favor and get that for me? So that is tip number 1. And basically puppy dog eyes works almost every time unless they're a grump. Or trying to get the same item, that wouldn't work. And number 2 is my favorite tip. In my favorite Goodwill, the carts, like the carts they push out, like in the picture, they make a certain sound. And when you the double doors that push open make a certain sound. So I have really good hearing. My eyesight's not great, but my hearing is really good. So I have learned the sound of the door opening and a cart being pushed through the store. And that way I could go no matter where I could travel around the store. I don't have to wait where they put the carts because they always put them in the same place. I can echolocate where the cart is in the store. Really, it is echolocation. and zoom and take my cart and knock people over, little old ladies, and get there first or close to first. So I'm the first to jump into the new stuff. So keep your ears to the ground for those new carts, and just learn the sounds of the thrift store.
Heck yeah! I never thought about the sound part of it. Yeah, heck yeah! All right, So I didn't source it all this week, really. Picked up a couple of cassettes, but there's nothing exciting about that. But I was getting ready to list these. We were at a Tiki event, and not all you're going to go to a Tiki events, but most everybody goes to some kind of event, and you get a swag bag. And so what Stacy and I do is pull out the stuff that we want, like, or need, and then the rest of it is now going up on eBay. And as the weekend goes on, this vendor's handing out stickers, and this vendor's handing out swizzles. And so, of course, and keychains, and I grab those, and then I add them to the swag bag. So, this was already free. It came with, being at the event. So now I'm going to turn this into like $20-25, and I enhanced it by snagging the other freebies from the other vendors. So not everything you go to is fun, like a Tiki event, but if you can sell your extras, sell them. I do that all the time. All the time. Well, there's a pool noodle trick I have never seen. All right, I like that.
I need that.
I like that.
I've had so much stuff fall between my headboard and the mattress, my arms are short, so I can't really get them. I need a stick or a big knife.
And now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. It doesn't matter if you're selling on Etsy, Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, or eBay. These are little tips and tricks to help you when you're selling.
Oh, okay.
That's you. Comp, draft, shoot.
Woohoo! Okay, just keep like Finding Nemo. Just keep listing. Eventually you'll. The more people say, the more you list, the more you sell. I mean, it's true. Sometimes it's not, but it's true. So what I always do is I do the comps first, then I keep that in my head, and then I do all the drafts together, and then at that time I weigh the item, and then I put the weight in, and then I shoot all the pictures at the same time. That way, when I'm at work and I'm ignoring my students, under my circulation desk, and I could list stuff. I could list stuff in the bathroom. I could list stuff anywhere. So that's the order I do it. I do the comps first, then I do the drafts, and then I shoot all the pictures. And I know you've said before about you shoot, like, if you have jeans, you shoot all the jeans together. That confuses me because when I take pictures, if I take pictures of all very similar things, then I lose track of where one ends and the next one begins.
Here's an easy fix. Take a picture of your hand in between. So you finish with that pair of jeans, take a picture of your fist, and then you're on the next pair of jeans. Then take a picture of your fist, and then you're on the next pair of jeans. I like to mix it up. That's just my style. That slows down the workflow because the jeans are all in the same spot. Boom, boom, boom. If you're going from putting the jeans on a hanger and then bringing the table out to do a coffee mug and then taking the table away and putting the dress up, it slows your work process down. So if you do all the same stuff, like little things on a table all together, then you're going to quicken your process.
And the only thing that I do all the CDs together and the DVDs together.
See, you just went against what you said you don't do. What?
On occasion, I will list things together, Jason. Thank you.
All right. We've talked about this many, many times. It proved true this week, so I want to share it again. Sometimes your item is on the wrong platform. I've had this Mudvayne cassette listed on Amazon for over 2 years. Now, most of you probably don't know Mudvayne. I love Mudvayne. They just got back together after like a 12-year hiatus. And I thought, okay, no one's still buying it on Amazon, but they're in the news every day because they're headlining 4 major concerts around the country this fall. And so let me move it to eBay, $30, just like that. So sometimes your products are just on the wrong platform. You should not be listing on only one platform. You should be listing on a multitude of platforms and move your stuff. If it ain't selling one place, it will sell someplace else. And this, I tried it at an auction. I was hoping for a bidding war, but I got the opening bid of $30. I was happy. It sat for 2 years on one platform and sold in 7 days on another. So I'm very content with that. I was just hoping for a little more action, but oh well. All right. Neither one of us had an out of season. That's crazy to have 2 hosts not have anything out of season. Wow, that's crazy. So let's do a couple quick commercials and we will get our guests in here. Wow, why is that so big? What's happening here? Okay. All right, this week we got a little kind of a twofer on selling past your expiration date, being thrifty over 50. My mom got handed a free stack of clothes. She got better than a peg core. She got free clothes. So we're going to kind of go through it and see what she got. And Bridget, who you all know from the thrifting board, one of the lifeguards of the thrifting board, been with me forever, is in town this week. And I said, hey, we don't usually do guests on Sunday, but we're going to a bar Sunday evening. I go, you want to come over to the office and be on the show? So she does a lot of sourcing at retail establishments like Ross and TJ Maxx and stuff. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So free clothes and retail discount clothes. So we're talking about that. And those of you in the Secret Beach, if I have done your store review this year, and we do store reviews almost every Monday where I go through your store and give you tips and tricks to make your store look better, I then let the tables be turned, and those who have had their store review this year get to review my store on Monday. So today I'm going to put up the post tonight. I'm going to tag everyone who's done it this year. You got to want to be on the camera, obviously, and have a camera, but you got to do, like, I think we did 2 or 3 per person. Also depends how many people. But if you all want to do it, we'll all do it. If only 2 of you want to do it, 2 of you want to do it. Are you doing it, Elisa?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. So now I don't do my own listings hardly ever, but I sign off on all of them. So it is on me. All right. Next week, Kathy is big on selling fabric. So like Sue is selling knives, Kathy's selling fabric. And the funny thing was, Debbie just found her as a guest for next week, and I just bought fabric. So I don't normally buy fabric, but I just bought some last week. I'm like, wow, this is perfect timing. I bought fabric, Kathy sells fabric, and so we're going to talk about fabric from both ends, because most of us won't buy it, but some of us will. But we will all sell it if we know what to look for.
I know. I want to get that stuff they make the Hawaiian shirts with the double-sided whatever what's that called?
The bar cloth.
Bar cloth. Thank you.
And that's what I bought. We'll show it next week. Hopefully it'll ship to me in time. All right, let's get our guest in here, shall we? And now it's time for the Thrifty Business special guest of the week. I got to make that a little bit longer. I'm so close. I am so close. I'm always just at 2 seconds behind. How are you, Sue?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Do you know that picture that I used for your art?
No, I'm guessing it's like maybe something from a Batman movie or the
Very
Joker.
good. That is the Joker. And as soon as I heard you were on, right away I thought that picture of the Joker laying in the circle of knives just laughing. I'm like, well, what could be more apropos than the Joker and knives?
Game of Thrones. The throne.
I have never. That's swords. That's swords. Sue, so I initially thought that you lived in Ohio since you were at the Tiki Flea Market in Ohio, and then I found out, nope, you are in Michigan. And then I saw in the notes why you were in Ohio. So why don't you tell everybody what you are doing? Because it's kind of cool.
What I'm doing, what I was doing in Ohio?
Yeah.
Okay,
I know what you're doing.
We went thrifting. We decided to take a long weekend, and I said, let's just go down to Ohio. I need to get out of Michigan because of this whole COVID lockdown thing. I just have to go. We had to go on a road trip. So we decided to go to the Tiki Underground, and we made all the plans and the reservations. And then we found out like a couple weeks before they were having this flea market. So we're like, oh, cool, we'll go there. And so we did. And my husband said, we need to go talk to Peg after we saw her picture on their website. So we did. And it was pretty cool. We were talking to your mom, and she suggested, yes, I talked to you about the knives. So, yeah.
But you were in Ohio to go to a national park, right?
Yes, we went to I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it,
Cuyahoga.
And we saw the Brandywine Falls. Very cool there. Took a lot of pictures. That's kind of one of our new things. We're trying going to the national parks at least 1 or 2 a year. We're going to be going later this year to the Shenandoah Valley as well. So, yeah.
So you're trying to hit one in every state?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't like nature.
What'd you say, Elisa?
I don't like nature.
I don't think I've ever heard that out of anyone's mouth. I don't like nature.
Too many bugs.
Do you guys have like a map of the states up in your office? And
Not yet. It's something we need to work on for sure.
So how many states have you hit so far?
Well, Michigan has one. Well, Michigan has the one that we like, the Sleeping Bear Dunes. And then we did the Ohio one. We've been to the one in Hawaii, Haleakala, the one at the top. We've been to the Rocky Mountains. I think that's about it so far.
Have you ever been to Hawaii, Lisa?
No, I've been to San Diego once, and that is the farthest west I've ever been. Never been the Midwest, except for I went to the airport in Chicago. But no, I'm an East Coast.
That does not count. Yeah,
I'm an East Coast girl.
My wife and I have been to the top of Haleakala. So what happens is you get up super duper early, like 2:30 in the morning, and then you get on a bus and they take you up there. And we did where we rode the bikes down, and we paid whatever a couple $100 to see a cloud. We never saw the sun come up. So we just stood inside of a cloud for half an hour and then got on our bikes. I'm like, what the hell did I get up at 2:30 in the morning and pay all this money to see the inside of a cloud? This sucks. So I have to go back up there and hope I actually get to see the sun come up one time, because seeing a cloud is not that exciting.
Next time, just go to Walmart and buy a fog machine and just stand in it. And for $39.99, you got the whole experience.
All right, so we're talking knives tonight, and I didn't ask. Usually, I want to get prepared, and because next week we're talking about fabric. I'm going to get a little more info, but on the knives, I'm like, ooh, I'm in, whatever. So I was telling people, like, I don't know, could be killing knives, could be jack-o'-lantern knives, could be butter knives. I don't know. So how'd you get into selling knives? And it was funny because a couple people on the Thrifty board said, I didn't know you could sell knives, and I think in their head they thought switchblade.
Right.
But in my head, I'm like, well, of course, cutlery or silverware. I'm like, yes, yeah, of course you can sell knives. So what got you into selling knives in the first place?
Yeah, I've always liked to cook and bake, and it really helps when you have a really good quality knife. So we decided a few years back to get ourselves a nice set. And in addition to the set, I had bought one of the Sentuco knives. Well, they just cut totally different than a regular like chef's knife does. So I decided after a few uses of it, I really didn't like it. And I thought, I'm going to sell this on eBay. So I did, and I got pretty good money. I got most of my money back that I originally had paid for it. So I thought, hey, this might be something we want to start looking for at estate sales and rummage sales and all that kind of stuff. So we really keep our eyes open now. It's something that a lot of people don't think about when they're walking into the house, is to go right to the kitchen and look for that, because that stuff is worth some money, depending on what you find. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I went to a sale, and it's one of those kind where they say, open all the drawers in the kitchen. They'll say, open. I pulled one open, and I found a 6-inch Santuco. I'm like, oh, wow. It was $5. I'm like, it's mine. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
So what was that brand?
It's Shun, S-H-U-N. The blade style is called the Santuco.
Oh, you got actually here, right from your store.
Yep. Yeah. That's what it looks like. That's a 6-inch one. Yeah.
Now, Rick was asking if you were saying Cutco, which Rick didn't know that I had this prepped. But for those of you who don't know, besides the knives themselves, if you find the knife blocks, they'll do quite well. Cutco being, I think, the best. And the more holes, the better. This one isn't going to be as exciting. This was only $2.
Yeah.
So this will definitely pan out as a good flip.
Yeah. Cutco knives are guaranteed for the lifetime of the knife. So that's why those are really good sellers too, because if there's something wrong with it, the people will buy it anyways and take advantage of the warranty on it and get it fixed.
What so when you go to estate sales, are you going with your hubby? Is he part of your business, or is he just hanging out?
He does a lot of sourcing with me. Sometimes I'm busy doing something else, and he'll just say, I'm going to run up to the sale that's not too far away. He knows enough to look for the knives, and usually he finds some too. He finds some good ones.
Now, Elisa, I don't think I've ever sold like a good knife like that ever. I guess I never really looked for one after all. Now I think about it, after all these years. Have you ever sold any knives?
I do have. I was looking for it. I couldn't get my hands on it, but I have a hardware store ruler, and when you open it up, it's a knife. So it's like a hidden knife in a
like a James Bond ruler.
Yeah. And I can't help myself. I have to say it. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Jeez.
I had to do it. Okay.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Yep.
All right. So, so you can sell knives online. I mean, of course, you can't sell switchblades, but, anything for cooking or anything around culinary,
right.
Basically is pretty much, and you can sell on a lot of platforms. It's not just eBay. So here's a few things you have now. It was funny because when I got your solds, none of them were knives because you said some of your bigger ones were past 90 days.
Yeah,
but you still got some a few solds right there.
Yeah.
Hey, Sue, do you sell hunting? Do you sell hunting knives on eBay?
eBay has. If you search on their website, they have a listing of the knives you cannot sell. So if it's something that's not on the list, you can sell it. I've never sold hunting knives. It may be on the list. Switchblades and all that. Like you can't sell any of that. But just check that out. And there's also something really important to know is that you cannot always ship to international countries kitchen knives. The UK, you cannot ship a kitchen knife to the UK. So it's really important to know what countries you can and cannot ship to as well.
Oh, look at that. Kent was typing at the exact same moment you were saying it. It was like you and Kent were like on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And real quick, if you just Google knives policy eBay, it'll pop right up. So if you do find some knives or before you even go out, you want to know what the policy is, just Google it. Boom. It's not a real long read. It basically tells you what they won't allow. But for the most part, if you're in the culinary section, you're pretty much good to go at that point.
Yeah. I will say, in addition to the culinary stuff, we have also found cleavers. Some people call them hog cutters, hog whatever. And those also sell really well. We've even found them with bad handles on them. They just want it for the blade. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if these people live out in a country and they're, taking care of their own animals or whatever, but those do really well too. Cleavers.
Yeah, making the blade is not something that everyone can do, but a lot more people could remake a handle. So, forging steel is one very specialized skill set. But so if you got a good blade with a bad handle, I never thought about that because I've seen some stuff. I'm like, that handle. But if the money's there.
We've gotten like $50 for cleavers. No problem. And another one to look for are hatchets, which again, it's another type of a blade. We find them a lot, maybe in the sheds. People take them up north camping to chop up some wood for firewood or whatever. Norland hatchets are really good to find. We found a couple of those and we've made some. Those are up to like $100 and around there.
I have one somewhere. I'm looking for it.
You have one of these hatchets somewhere?
Yeah.
She has a lot of weird stuff at the reach. I gotta tell you, she has random booze. She has hatchets. I'm like, we should play a game. What doesn't she have within reach? Yeah. See, I was going for I was thinking of the Molly hatchet joke. So you have when COVID is an issue, you have a what sounds like a fun job.
Yeah, for sure. So when I quit my office job in 2019, my husband had been working at this arena downtown for quite a few years. And he said, hey, they're always looking for extra people. So I said, oh yeah, it's part-time. I can kind of pick the nights I want to work. So we work at hockey games, basketball games, and most importantly, musical concerts. We have a blast working because you get to see the concert for free. When the concert starts, everybody goes in the arena. So we take turns watching the booth and we get to watch the concert for free. And then most importantly, you get to buy ahead of time posters, t-shirts, whatever they're selling and make a lot of money those on eBay.
Good plan.
Don't you love that plan? I'm like, heck yeah.
Fun. Can't wait to go back.
How do you carry them around estate sale? Very carefully.
I bring a bag and I just put them at the bottom of the bag. Yep. And that brings up another issue I want to talk about: shipping knives. I sometimes will make like a rectangular, just kind of take your knife and just kind of measure it and then score it down the middle and fold it over there and then just tape it up. So when you're shipping it, you don't want someone to open up a box where there's a sharp blade. Another way I found is the whole noodles. Just cut it to the right size, cut down the middle, and then just slip it in the middle and tape it up real good.
Wow, I would have not thought pool noodle, but I like it. Yeah. I like it. I would have thought that though. I love it.
Sue is making me nervous with the knives. She is.
Don't worry, Sue's a trained professional.
Well, I got my knife block like right here, so I have like all my knives.
We could do like let's make a deal. Well, what's in Elisa's purse? Do you have a bazooka, a quart of oil, and 3 of the 4 Ninja Turtles? That's what I want to see next. If he comes back with those things, I will lose my mind. What? So are there any foreign countries, or do you just keep knives just domestic?
I had way back when started doing it globally, and I got a message from eBay saying, "Hey, you cannot sell to the UK." So I said, at that point, you know what, just take them off, just create a special listing, just US, and from then on, I just sell US.
Yeah, there's a couple things where even like some adult stuff, there's the bazooka. Okay. All right. Where's the quart of oil? I thought the bazooka would be the hard one. I thought.
I have a Care Bear. I don't know
not even close.
Turtles are.
Yeah, so like some of the adult stuff I'll sell from time to time. Like I'll just keep that domestic because I don't know all the rules for adult stuff heading overseas. So
look, it was on the floor.
Oh, well, that's power steering fluid. So you lose.
Close it up.
But what in the world? Why do you have power steering fluid at your desk? I don't know what's happening right now. All right, Sue, under your desk, I'm looking for a live cat, 3 golf balls, and a tennis racket.
Sorry, don't have.
All right, so Mary says she does U.S. and Canada. Have you ever done knives to Canada?
I have not, but that probably would be a safe bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Craig and Rick, and I know Lisa's watching and Doug's watching. If you guys need some knives, come get them. Ooh. So what started your eBay journey? When did you get on eBay? And
I started back in 2000.
Oh wow, long timer, nice.
Yeah, but it wasn't full time like I'm doing now. It was more or less the kids were young, and I was trying to get rid of a lot of the junk and stuff. But actually, my mom was an antique dealer, so growing up, as a kid, we were dragged around to estate sales, flea markets, and all that kind of auctions and all that. So growing up, we learned what a lot of different antiques were and collectibles. And so I had, a good feeling for that. But my sister told me back in 2000, she said, there's this thing called eBay. I really think you should look into it. It's not that hard to sell stuff. And so we had to get the big Sony Mavica camera that had the 3-inch floppy disk. Wow. You sit in the side, you take your pictures, one picture, and then you had to kind of like write code to get a nice looking ad to have different colors or whatever, but it worked wonderfully. Anytime I listed stuff, I sold, it was at auction back then, but everything sold really well. So it kind of went through the years, and I took a little break away, and then I started to get back into it. And now it's just like, you know what? This is just so much better than sitting in an office. I'll do this.
Yeah, it's sort of like is there an oil or something you shine up the knives with, or like a stone that you like a grinding stone, like an old fashioned thingy?
Well, actually, there's the honing rod. It's like a long metal rod that usually comes with the block. Mm-hmm. That's actually just to get the burrs and stuff off the edge of the knife. You really want to leave the sharpening to like a professional because you could really mess up the blade.
Dang, I thought I had one.
Yeah, my dad had a grinder in the garage, and he showed me how to sharpen knives as like a kid, teenager. And I didn't have the same skill set as him. And I remember the first knife I did, I tried to do it, and there was a big groove in the knife. So I'm like, yeah, I'll never do that again. I ruined my knife. So yeah, leave that to the professionals. So I see you've got about almost 800 items in your store. Do you keep it around there on a consistent basis?
Yeah, that's my goal. At one point I had a little more, over 800, but with the COVID lockdown, like you said before, things have just been flying off the shelves. I just couldn't keep up with it, but I try to keep it close to 800.
When are you going back to work? Any announcements of concerts? Or
they thought maybe that by the fall, but I don't know. They still haven't announced anything yet, but I'm looking forward to it because they had some really good concerts lined up, and I'm like, oh, those are going to be good money makers. Not only that, but we also make, we get like a percentage of the sales that we sell in addition to be able to buy, merchandise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty nice.
So we need to talk when you start working, because I might need you to pick me up a few things here and there.
Yeah,
for
I
personal.
have to tell you, the best thing I ever bought from a concert was the Tool concert, and we bought a signed poster. We paid $300 for it, but we sold it for $780. It was amazing.
I thought
we sold it in like 2 days.
I thought you meant like screwdrivers and wrenches and stuff.
No, that would be Maynard. So funny you mentioned that, because we were watching Jimmy Kimmel from, I think, last week, and a comedian who's such a huge Tool fan went on tour and followed the band. So he would perform at a comedy club the night before Tool played in that city. Okay. So the money he made, he then bought a ticket with his buddy. They went to the Tool show, and then they went to the next stop. And then the wife at one point said, so wait, you're not bringing home any money. You're just turning all your salary into it. And the band caught wind of it. And the band, the guitar player, was actually a fan of this comedian. So he just gave him a pass for the whole tour.
Nice.
Yeah. But so funny you brought up Tool, because we were just hearing about that.
Yeah, we did really well with the Tool concert.
Stacy and I we bought 4 concert tickets already coming up in 3 different states. So we are so itching to go to live music. We're going to LA, we're going to Phoenix, we're going here. So they're coming. Yeah. Everyone's getting on tour. And here's the thing. If you like live music, they still want people back, and they're concerned about some people not wanting to come back. The ticket prices are not expensive right now compared to what they used to be. I got us tickets for me and Mom and Stace for Katy Perry, and I said they're $125 for a headliner on the Strip. That is very, very cheap. And she goes, "Do we have nosebleeds?" I go, "No, I got us good seats." And she was like, "What?" And we're going VIP to a big DJ for $100. I'm like, that's a crazy low price.
Yeah,
I mean, especially in Vegas.
Yeah,
so
Greg has it right.
No, we're not talking about the scariest neck in the world.
I did work the Celine Dion concert.
Look, she's an amazing singer.
Yeah,
and she's a really cool chick. She took her kids to the minor league baseball game here in town one summer, and they caught her in the stands. No entourage, no babysitters, no nannies, just her and her kids wearing a ball cap, eating a hot dog. And I'm like, dang, I didn't like her much at all, just because she frightens me, but that's pretty cool. Well, for a star of that magnitude to go to a ball game and just sit there in the crowd and be normal, so cool.
Yeah. My favorite concert was my first concert I ever did, and that was the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, we bought Jonas.
Nothing else. It was like being at a Beatles concert. All these teenage girls were just screaming. It was so fun. So fun.
I have to admit, I have never been to a concert.
That does not even compute. I've been to 5 and 7 days 3 times in my life.
Never been to a concert. I mean, I've been to school shows, but never like a rock concert. Nothing.
Oh, we gotta fix that. All right, Sue. What's the best concert you worked that when you were watching, you were like, holy shit, this is amazing.
You know who I really liked was Phil Collins. He had a nice concert. Very cool. Because it's kind of those music that I grew up with, and it was a lot of fun.
So, Elisa, back in the day, when early 90s, I saw Phil Collins in the same week I saw Marilyn Manson, and I like both equally.
You're weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then when I was a teenager, my mom and I went and saw Huey Lewis in the News because I like dorky music too, but I had a pink mohawk at the time. I had just seen, I think Skinny Puppy or somebody in concert. And this drunk lady behind me grabbed me by my mohawk and pulled me back. And she goes, "What are you, some kind of effing punk?" And I'm like, yes, who likes Huey Lewis? Let go of my hair.
It sounds like Back to the Future when he's at the high school performance with
Yeah.
the he starts playing like the guitar, like the electric guitar or something.
Yep, like Chuck Berry.
Yes.
Have you ever? Paul says, you ever sold the sharpening stones?
No, not a sharpening stone, but I have sold the honing rods.
Is that the thing you use to find directions, like find water in the phone? No, that's dowling. That's dowling rods. Never mind.
What? So what's next on the agenda for state parks?
The next one is the Shenandoah Valley. That's going to be in July.
And where's that?
In Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not been in Virginia in a long time. And is there anything special at the Shenandoah Valley?
No, just thought it would be cool and thought we'd go thrifting over there too while we're in the area. And
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we asked for one of the interesting things you sold and you still had it. So tell us about this. This is crazy.
So I went to an estate sale and it was of a former doctor. And they had this thing for sale. I think I paid like, I don't know, $6 for it. I looked at it, I'm like, what the heck is that? I mean, to me, it looked like something else. I'm like, I better read what this says because so I'm like, oh, it's a brainstem. Okay. So I know that like a lot of medical things like that go for pretty good money. And I thought it was just funny looking and interesting in this.
Yeah. It's kind of like a uterus. With the ovarian. With the
All right, let's talk about your duds, and then we'll finish strong on your scores.
Okay, so this, usually for bedding sets like this, especially Laura Ashley, you can get some pretty good coin for that. But it was during COVID, you had to wear your mask, and I walked and I honestly could not smell that this person had been a smoker.
Oh.
So this bedding was in a package and it was in the basement, kind of dim. And so I bought it. I'm thinking, oh, cool. It was like, I don't know, it was $20. So I got it home and I'm like, something smells kind of like cigarettes. So I opened it up and sure enough, the whole front cover of the plastic that it was in was like yellow, which had gone through the plastic and it was like a stain now on it. And I'm like, oh no. So I tried washing it out. It didn't come out. I put our best offer on it. Someone made me an offer of $30. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. So I paid $20 and I sold it for $30 with the fees. I really didn't make a lot of money.
What about the shipping though? That looks kind of high to me.
Maybe that's shipping to Jason.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, we've all been there. We brought something home and then we smelled it. We're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, because in the moment you don't, but then once it's in your house.
Right. Okay, that Hawaiian shirt, I paid like $2 for it. I didn't realize I probably I wouldn't have bought it if I thought I was only going to get 15, but I'm like, that's okay. I'll get my money back, make a couple bucks. Well, I listed it, took all the pictures. Some guys like bought it and I'm packaging it and I'm like, uh-oh, there's a stain on the bottom. I did not see it. So for good customer service, I wrote them right away and I said, hey, listen, I'm packaging your shirt. I noticed there's a stain I didn't see. I'm really sorry, but if you want it, I'll give you half off. And if you don't want it, I'll give you your money back before I even ship it. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll take half off. So I sold it for $7.50. I paid like $2 for it. I mean, it really wasn't a big profit there.
It's vintage. Brand's okay, but it is a rather boring shirt. Not everyone wants to be flashy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where I thought we were going. I didn't realize you found the stain, obviously. Yeah. Especially when it says no holes or stains. And then you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
I sold a shirt today that I sold in February. How it was back up, I have no idea. I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but I'm like, there's the sale in February on eBay. So I had to tell the customer, I'm so sorry, but I don't have this shirt anymore.
Same thing happened to me. I had a traveling communion set, like a last communion set or a first communion set or something. I'm Jewish, so I don't know. It's like in a case, and I know I sold it, and the buyer accepted it like in April, and then I just found the same thing, and I'm like, did I have two of these? Like it's such a rare, weird thing, like that I would buy, and so I don't know if I sent them an empty box or what, but they didn't ask for a refund, so I don't know what to do.
It happens. All right, tell me about this.
Okay, so I went to an estate sale. They had a lot of high-end things there. I always look for Ralph Lauren stuff. Ralph Lauren is you can make a lot of money off of that stuff. They had a couple of blankets, and one of them had a Ralph Lauren tag. I forget what the other one had. But this one, I'm like, it really caught my eye. And I'm like, that's a really cool blanket. I noticed the tag was cut off, and I'm like, I got to research this. So I started looking at Ralph Lauren blankets, thinking that's what this was. And I found the pattern, and I'm like, this is a Ralph Lauren blanket. And I could tell from the tag, because usually there's green tags, or they have different color tags, but this one was green. I'm like, I just know that's Ralph Lauren. So I listed it, and I took a best offer of $250 on that one.
Wow.
Paid like $15 for it.
Wow.
And I'm not a big fan of fingers, but I like how you're pointing out the imperfections. So
yeah.
Nice job. Yeah. And I love, it's a rare time where I go kind of in the place it should be. I take all the pictures of blankets on the bed.
Yeah.
It's the rare time I'm like, let's get out of the photo studio. It looks really good when it's on the bed, nice and neat.
Yeah. Okay. This was cool. The person, the estate sale, she used to work in a theater. And I don't mean like a big theater, it's like a community theater. So she had a lot of theater memorabilia, maybe from ones that she had visited. This caught my eye, and I'm like, well, that's really cool. It kind of matches the program. They had like $6 on it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. So I bought it, and I looked up, like, I never saw any other listings with that particular ceramic plate. And so I'm like, just put a big number on it, put a big price on it. So I did, and it's really interesting because the person that bought that is a very well-known writer and producer in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
He was very excited to get it. So, of course, he said, pack it really well, and thank you for listing this, So that was a really cool find.
Isn't that great when people thank you?
Yeah, he was a really nice guy.
And they gave you money?
Yeah.
I had that happen last week. I told my wife, I'm like, it's always such an amazing thing when someone's like, thank you for letting me give you $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, too bad that wasn't from I think Daniel Radcliffe from Harry Potter did Equus.
Yeah, I looked at the whole Equus thing, and he did play one of the
Yeah.
Okay, so this
Dang,
you guys
nice.
did the coral show a while back, and so right away we started looking for coral.
Damn.
And I saw this piece, and I'm like, oh, $4. And so I picked it up, and I'm like, putting a big price on that. So, yep, sold for $90.
I mean, that is so perfectly pretty too.
Yeah.
Especially with the cream of chicken soup.
They come with the cream of chicken soup.
No, you should have had like a seafood soup, like a seafood.
Oh, there you go.
Thing. That would have rocked.
Yeah. Okay, this is a cool thing to be looking for. Empty boxes. You will be surprised at people that want empty boxes on good quality items.
Yeah.
I went to this sale, and they had the whole basement was full of empty boxes. This lady had shopped at high-end things. And for $2, I bought this box and others. And this one sold for $23. I've sold some for $15, $20. It's like I just couldn't believe how much money someone would pay for an empty box.
Yeah, and that was a thing where we all sold empty boxes like this, and then eBay is like, nope, we're not allowing these high-end empty boxes again to be sold, and then they reversed it. Yeah, go ahead, sell your boxes and your bags. Yeah. So I do this even at the thrift stores when they usually have a basket of sunglass cases, and so you just got to dig for the good ones, the Gucci's and the stuff like that, because like the box, the cases are worth good money too. Just got to find the right ones.
Yes.
So what's next? Anything exciting on your sourcing coming up? You got any good flea markets or anything?
No. I usually look for estate sales, and I've been doing this thing now where I try to get away from my area because I just feel like there's a lot of competition where I live. So I will travel to different cities that maybe like an hour or two away from me, and usually I find some really nice things in different cities that I'm going to start doing that a little more often now.
Yes, Tina said Tiffany boxes sell fast.
Yeah.
And where to go? Oh, yeah. Julie said Apple boxes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got any Apple boxes? I save all mine because when I sell my old stuff, I put it right back in the original box. But if I didn't, I would definitely sell the boxes. Well, I am so glad you went to the Tiki Flea Market. I'm so glad you bumped into my mom because, not that I didn't know knives exist. And it's weird because I've always sold the knife blocks, but I've never, ever picked up any knives, ever.
Yep. Be on the lookout.
So now I want to go sourcing right now and go find some knives.
Okay, you walking around an estate sale or a garage sale with kind of like the knives crossed like this in front of you, that would scare a lot of people.
So give us a big old thumbs up down below there. Where's my graphic? I was so not ready to do. There we go. Big old thumbs up. Give Sue a big old thumbs up. Give Elisa a big old thumbs up for her first time co-hosting and the fact that she seems to have everything under the sun under her desk. Mm-hmm. And we will have to get into that at a later date because I'm curious. And if you're new, welcome. Subscribe right there. Click the bell. The bell lets you know when we are going live. And we're here every Thursday night and Sunday. So for everyone, we'll see you on Sunday with me and Mom. And Secret Beachcombers, if you've done your store review and you want to tear my store apart, here's your chance. Here's your chance to let me have it. Because, hey, we all learn all the time. You're never, ever done learning. You want to keep learning. And that's why we share the duds, because it's always a lesson to ourselves and to others. So with that, I say thank you, Sue. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you, everyone who tuned in. Good to see you all tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Maybe. There we go.